Hi and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be reading all the 3 books in the Emily Wilde series by Heather Fawcett. The last one just came out this February, so I'm excited to have the whole collection in my hands. So I don't usually judge books by their covers, but these have to be the most beautiful covers that I have on my bookshelf. These are so whimsical and magical and just really beautiful. There's credit given to Bex Parkin, so I just want to take a moment of appreciation for these beautiful cover designs. I'm sure I'll show you them in detail in this video. I believe these are all the books that are going to be in this series. I read the first one about 2 years ago and I really enjoyed it, but I really need a refresh before I can get into the 2 books that I haven't yet read. So today we're going to be talking about all the 3 books, but this is going to be a spoiler-free reading vlog, so if you still want to read them for yourself, you will not be getting any spoilers from me. I'm just going to talk about what I think about the books, whether I would recommend them, and what star rating I'm giving them. I can't wait to get back into this world, so let's just get started. If you've never heard of this book is basically about Emily Wilde, and she is a professor at Cambridge University at the Department of Dryadology. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but she basically studies fairies and fae, and for her research she's writing an encyclopedia. So she goes to this little town and she goes there on her own to find these folk, these fae. However, the weather there is not really what she's used to, so she'll need the people there to basically survive and, you know, finish her research, but she's not really good at making social connections. So she's very socially awkward. She doesn't really know how to make small talk. She doesn't know how to talk to people, make friends. She has a very hard time with the people there, and she's very dedicated to her research. So that's basically what this book is about. She's trying to finish her encyclopedia. She's trying to put her research first, but her social skills kind of get in the way of that. But then her colleague from Cambridge shows up, and he's very good at talking to people, so she kind of needs him to complete her research, and he kind of needs her for something else. That is basically what this book is about. It's very whimsical, it's very fun. I'm really enjoying this book. I'm just remembering how much I loved reading it the first time, and I'm just really happy to get back into this world. I honestly did not remember much of the ending, so it's kind of a surprise for me how it's going to end. So that's basically my update on Emily Wilde. I've been loving everything about it. The characters just have so much personality, and I can really appreciate that. I love our main character Emily, and I love our main guy Wendell. He's so full of life. He has so much personality. He's so dramatic sometimes, and I just really love reading about it. Definitely the dynamic of the hardworking Emily versus the kind of aloof, dramatic Wendell is very fun to read about. The only thing I don't understand is why the author chose to make this happen in 1909 instead of 2009, because a lot of things don't really make sense when it's taking place in 1909. For example, the main premise that Emily is a professor at Cambridge, because unfortunately women were not allowed to have degrees at Cambridge in 1909, so I don't think it's really possible that she could have been a professor. She's getting a fully funded research expedition by Cambridge, which I also think women were just not allowed to do at that time, unfortunately. Now, I know what you're thinking. This book is a fantasy book. It's about fairies. That Emily is a professor is not the most unrealistic thing in this book, which I totally agree with you. It is a fantasy book. She could have written anything and it would have been, you know, okay, because it's fiction. But a lot of things in this book do take place in the real world. I mean, otherwise she could have just made it happen in a fictional world, but she chose to do it in our world. So then I kind of expect it to be a little bit historically accurate. I'm just a little bit confused that some aspects are very historically accurate and they take place in our world, and some just aren't. There's also a gay couple in this book, which I love to see. I'm really happy that she included that, but I'm just not quite sure if people would have reacted so positively 100 years ago. The characters in this book react very normally and very calmly to gay people, gay marriage, which I think is great. It's just, I think it's not really historically accurate for that time, since gay marriage wasn't legal at that time in England. I just think the book easily could have taken place in 2009 and nothing would be wrong. I don't want to give off the wrong feeling here. I'm really loving this book. I'm really excited to finish it. That's just the only little thing that's a little bit bothering me. But I mean, you could reason that it is a fantasy book, so basically everything is possible. So I'm going to continue reading now. I don't know if I showed you guys, but I also started crocheting this. And I can't wait to see how far I can get with this in this video. I'm trying to make a book sleeve, so hopefully at the end of this video I can put one of those books into the sleeve, but it's still a lot of work. So I'm just gonna continue that, and I'm gonna finish the book, and I'll see you when I finished it. Hi, we finally have a sunny day, so I quickly wanted to give you an update before I go outside and enjoy the sun and read. I have finished reading Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, and I absolutely loved it. I think I enjoyed reading it even more than I did the first time, which I didn't think was possible. I just grew to love these characters so much. I'm really debating between a 4 and a 5 stars rating. I think the time inaccuracy is just bothering me a little bit because it really feels like everything is happening right now. It doesn't feel like it's happening in, when did they say, 1909? But I'm really happy that I read it. I can't wait to get into the second book. I'm just so excited to see what is next for Emily. Also, I just have to say something. I'm not sure how many of you will get this, but the main love interest in this book, Wendell, really reminds me of Astarion from Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know if any of you know that game, but if you know, that is what this character is like. He's so dramatic and sassy and funny and just confident, and he also has blonde hair, so yeah, he just really reminds me of Astarion. I'm now going to be starting on the second book, which I kind of dressed up to match it. It's this beautiful green. The main problem in the first book is solved in the first book, so I'm excited to see what new problems are going to arise and what the second book is going to be about. Okay, I'm going to stop rambling now. I'm just going to go enjoy the sun, read my book. I hope you have a very nice day. I hope it's also sunny where you are. Let me know in the comments what you're reading, and I will see you when I have an update. This book really reminds me of The Cruel Prince, which I really like because of the fairies, of course, but also the strong female characters. And again, in this book, the female characters are just so well done. They're so interesting, and I just love reading about them. If you like The Cruel Prince, you'll definitely like this one. And if you didn't like The Cruel Prince because of kind of the teenage characters, I think you should also give this one a try because the characters in here are very much adult. I think Emily is about 30 years old, and she definitely acts her age, which I'm really happy to read. I don't want to see Emily act like a teenager when she's 30 years old, and luckily that doesn't happen. Emily is very responsible. She's very secure in her own skin, which I really like reading about. I actually think I'm enjoying the second book more than the first book, which I really wasn't expecting. This book is very similar to the first book, but everything is just way more extreme. Emily's character is a lot more extreme. She's actually really mean in this book, which kind of takes some getting used to, but I think it adds a lot to the story. It adds a lot to her personality, so I'm kind of enjoying that. The creatures are also very different in this book because in the first book, the fairies were described as kind of ethereal. Is that how you say that word? I've actually never said that word out loud, but they're kind of described as too beautiful to be true, but it's not really threatening, it's not really violent, they're just really beautiful. Whereas in the second book, all the creatures are very malicious. There's definitely a lot more threatening things happening. The creatures are definitely more described as stuff from nightmares than being very beautiful, so that's a very big change. That's all to say that I'm really enjoying this book. I think it's an excellent sequel. It's different enough from the first book that it's really a new story, but I think I'm actually enjoying it more than the first book, which I really wasn't expecting. I'm almost done, so I'm really excited to finish this one up and let you know what I think of it. I kind of tried to match my outfit with the book because I'm planning on finishing it today, so I guess I'll see you when I'm done. Emily, oh my god. Wow, that ending was so good. Really perfect, just perfect. I just can't believe what happened. Emily is so cool. She's so much herself. Emily is such a good character. I love her. Emily, I love you. She's just so herself and she doesn't change for anyone, and I'm loving that. I'm really loving it. This book was great. This book was excellent. This book was 5 stars. I'm just gonna say it was 5 stars. The only issue from book 1 with the timing issue is still an issue in this one, and there are even more gay characters in this book, which again, don't get me wrong, I love to see. I already went over this, but I just feel like it's kind of out of place in this time. But just putting that aside, this book is excellent. It's really great. I think the side characters are not really that interesting, but Emily and Wendell just make up for everything because they're so unique and lovable and just very interesting. So I'm just gonna say it right now, I'm gonna give this a 5 star. My hopes are really high for the third book because I really don't know how the third book is gonna top this. I'm actually scared that it's not gonna top this. I'm actually really interested what the third book is gonna be about because most of the issues from book 1 and 2 have been solved in this one. So I'm not sure what we're gonna read next. I'm a little scared that it's not gonna live up to book 2, but I'm also very hopeful because now I've seen the writing of Heather Fawcett and what she can do with the sequel. So I'm really excited to see what she's gonna do in the third book in the series. Let's get into the third book. Hi, I'm back and I have finished my book sleeve. I'm very happy with the result. This was my first crochet project in a couple of years, so I'm really excited that it turned out so well. So this book sleeve is basically to protect your book from any damage when you take it with you. Usually when I take my books in my bag, the corners can get quite damaged, so by using this sleeve you can protect your book. Now the Emily Wilde books are pretty big, so I don't think they will fit into this sleeve, but I have plenty of books that are a bit smaller, so I'll be using this. Now about book 3, I am again matching the cover and I'm very excited about this one. As I said, the main issues from book 1 and 2 have been solved already, so this book deals with a whole new set of problems, whereas book 2 is kind of a similar story to book 1. This is a completely new story, but with returning characters from the first 2 books. I think having the characters all return is very exciting for the 3rd book. I'm not sure if there are going to be any more books after this. I don't think so. Hopefully there are, because I love this series, but I've not heard of a 4th book yet, so I'm kind of seeing this as the conclusion, but hopefully there will be more books in the future. But for now I'm kind of seeing this as the last book in the series. It's very lovely to see a lot of character development in both Emily and Wendell. Emily as a person has just grown so much and I'm really excited to see where her story goes. Actually, it's really fitting that I crocheted this. I didn't know this before, but Wendell is very into sewing and crocheting and knitting. He basically makes all of their clothing, so I'm really excited that I did a similar project. Of course, it's not clothing, but I also crocheted something while I was reading the books. I think it's really exciting that one of the male characters is really interested in sewing and knitting and interior design, whereas usually that's more seen in female characters. So I'm really excited that one of the male characters is actually doing that. It's one of the reasons that makes these characters so great. I really love Emily and Wendell. I think they're really good together. I'm now halfway through the book and we've been introduced to the main problem of this book. Now, it's quite a devastating problem, but since it's cozy fantasy, I don't think this book will end tragically, so that also makes the problem less threatening because I know that I have nothing to worry about. I will say that the first half of the book was way more slow paced than the last book has been, but it still has been really interesting to read. So I guess I'll see you when I finish the book, which makes me really sad because I don't want the story to end. I don't want to leave these characters behind, but I also want to finish the book, so I'll see you later. Hi, I'm back and I've now read all of the 3 books in this series and I'm so happy that I did because this has quickly become one of my favorite fantasy series and I'm really happy that I got to read all of them. Okay, let's talk about the 3rd book in the series because unfortunately this one is my least favorite of them all. I think it was also just really difficult to top the 2nd one because I gave it 5 stars, so what is higher than 5 stars? It had very big shoes to fill. And unfortunately, it did not top the 2nd one. I also feel like it's worse than the first one, unfortunately, but I still really enjoyed it. I love this book, but I just felt like it was very different. In the first 2 books, Emily is very smart, but just her social skills get in the way. But in the 3rd book, it was kind of the opposite. The answers just came really easily, and the social contact seemed to be no problem at all. Emily seemed to fit right in and she had no social problems at all. I felt like the twist in this book was not as good as the first 2 books. I think because it's the last book, she had to bring all the characters back from the first 2 books, which was nice, but it kind of felt forced. Some characters just weren't that interesting and they still were brought back. Now still, I think the writing is just really good. I think the world is just amazing. I still loved it, but it wasn't as good as the first 2 books. So I think I'm gonna rate it 3.5 stars. I think that brings us to the end of this video because I've read all the 3 books and I had a really great time. I would highly recommend that you read these books for yourself. I just fell in love with these characters. I love this world so much and the storyline is just really enjoyable. I'm not sponsored to say this, by the way. I don't think I've said that, but none of my videos are sponsored. Otherwise, I will clearly tell you. So it's my own honest opinion that I love these books. If you want to see more of these reading vlogs, then please let me know in the comments. Please let me know if you've read these books and what you thought of them. And I'll see you in the next video.